In this class we will see what are the OOPS concepts. What is meant by OOP? OOP is nothing but object oriented program. In Java, everything is treated as a object, that is a real-time entity. Hence Java is called as object-oriented programming language. So here we will see what are all the OOPS concepts. There are four or five concepts. One is called as class and object. Next one is they used to call as API. A stands for abstraction, P stands for polymorphism, I stands for inheritance, E stands for encapsulation. So these five concepts are called as OOPS concept. We will see one by one. So class and object, abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance and encapsulation are said to be the OOPS concept. We will start with what is meant by class and the object. Here in Java, I told everything will be treated as a real-time entity. So let us consider a example from the real world. Let us take a car. It's a real-time entity. Okay, so here in car, what are all the fields you will have, like what are all the entities will be present in the car. So a car can have seats, it can have a brake, it can have a gear, it can have tires and it can have engine. Apart from that, you can take like what is the color of the car, what is the brand of the car and what is the make or model of the car, etc. also. So here for example we will take this 5 fields: seats, how many seats are present in the car, and what is the type of the brake system, what is the type of the gear, and how many tires, and what type of engine the car has. So these are said to be fields, and in programming it is said to be variables. And we will see what the car can do. The car can be started and it can be moved, and you can also place a brake over the car and you can stop the car. So what all the operations can be performed on the car is nothing but you can start the car, you can move the car, you can place the brake on the car and you can stop the car. So these four things, like start the car, move the car, you can place a brake on the car and stop the car, these are said to be the state or behavior. So while doing programming, these are said to be methods. Okay, so here we will take the real-time entity called car And here the fields it can have is nothing but seats, brake, gear, tires, engine. And what are all the operations that can be performed on the car is nothing but you can start the car, move the car. Similarly, you can place a brake on the car and you can stop the car. So these are all the operations that can be performed. Here this car is nothing but we can consider this as the class. Class is said to be the blueprint or prototype from which an object or objects can be created. That is said to be the that is said to be class. So here what happens, let us take for an example, there is three companies, Honda, Toyota and Maruti. They want to manufacture a car but they don't want to start it from the scratch. So here if suppose this blueprint is available for them, what they can do is they can slightly modify the requirements and they can manufacture the car. So this car is said to be the class. Class is nothing but a blueprint or a prototype from which an object or objects can be created. Object is nothing but the real-time entity. Blueprint is nothing but this is something not present in real world, this is virtual, and this is present physically in the real world. That is the main difference. So class and object, if you want to define what is meant by a class, class is nothing but it is a blueprint or the prototype from which an object or objects can be created. This blueprint is said to be virtual and object is nothing but it is said to be a real-time entity. Like this is similar to that, if you want to construct a house, that is you'll be going to a civil engineer and they'll be giving a plan to construct the house. That plan is nothing but it is said to be the blueprint or the prototype, and your house is nothing but it is said to be the object. So let us see this example clearly. Say for example we have three manufacturing companies, Honda, Toyota and Maruti. What are all the fields the car had? It has seat, it has brake, and it has the gear, tires and engine. Say for example this Honda, they want to have only 4 seats, but here Toyota they want to have 5 seats and here Maruti want to have 2 seats. And a brake system, so here this Honda want to have the disc brake system and here they wish to have the drum brake system, and let us say this Maruti wish to have the anti-lock brake system. And gear, so what type of gear this Honda wish to have? So let us consider they want the automatic gear system and here Toyota also automatic, but Maruti wants to have a manual gear system. And here tires, let us have it in common, 4 tires. Engine, here let us say like Honda they want to have straight layout, whereas Toyota want V engines, and this wish to have the flat or the boxer engine. Okay, So the requirement of Honda differs, Toyota also differs, and Maruti also differs, but the fields are same. That is, they want the seat, brake, gear, tires, engine, but the configuration differs. Okay, now let us say one end user approaching this Honda and telling that he needs all these requirements like 4 seats, disc brake, automatic, and 4 tires and straight layout. Similarly, let us consider another end user. He approaches this Toyota and tells his requirements. Similarly, E3, this is the third end user. He is approaching this Maruti. So what these people does is they just don't want to create the car from the scratch. They are approaching a standard car company. Say for example, here you have a standard car manufacturing company, and they will give a blueprint. So from here they can get this Honda, Toyota and Maruti. These people, they can get it from the standard car manufacturing company, and depending upon the requirements of the end user. Say for example, the first end user wants like 4 seats and disc brake, automatic, and 4 tires, straight layout. And the second end user, he needs 5 seats, drum brake, automatic gear system, and number of tires to be 4, and the engine to be V engines. And the third end user needs the number of seats to be 2, anti-lock brake system and manual gear, and 4 tires and flat or boxer engine. So these people place their requirements, so only the configuration differs. So their Honda, Toyota and Maruti, they gets the blueprint from the standard car manufacturing company, and they will manufacture the car according to the end users requirements, and they will give it to them. Okay, so here this Honda car, say for example, we call the car manufactured by the Honda company to be Honda car, and Toyota to be Toyota car, and this is said to be Maruti car. And here let us consider this to be a car. So they are getting the blueprint. So here this Honda car, Toyota car and Maruti car, they exist in real time. So these are said to be the objects, and this car is said to be the blueprint. That is, it appears virtually, whereas this Honda car, Toyota car and the Maruti car exists in real term. So this is the difference between the car and the class and the object. So what is meant by a class? Class is nothing but it is a blueprint or the prototype from which the objects can be created. So what is the object? Objects are nothing but they are the real time entity. Okay, so here you will have one concept called as instantiate. That is, while doing the program, instantiate, that is, you're creating an object. Okay, this is said to be instantiate, creating an object. For here example, Honda car is created from the blueprint of the car. So Honda car is said to be the object, and car is set to be the class. That's all. This is the basic concept of the class and the object. Okay, now we will see how to bring this into a program. So I am going to just to follow this one, then we will see like how to write a Java program, all those. Before that, I want to tell like Java virtual machine, this is called as Java virtual machine. This will be looking for the people's nothing but portable executable entry point. Okay, from here only it will start executing the program. We will see what are all those. So here what we had is we had a car. Okay, so in the car what are all the fields we have? We have number of seats. See here, this is a small letter, this is capital, this is capital. This is said to be the camel case. Okay, camel case is like you have to start the first letter with the small letter, then the next words with the capital one. Okay, so here if you know C, C++, all those programming languages, we will know what are int and string, etc. Just for time being, have this int is used to denote a integer value like numbers like 1 2 3 etc. String is used to denote a string or a word, like example like a disk break system, etc. Okay, for timing have this one. So here in car what we had the number of seats and what is the type of the brake. So here you can see T is written in small, O is written in capital, B is written in capital. And next one we will see what is the type of the gear they want and how many tires and type of the engine. Sorry. Okay, so here so number of seats can be integers, so we can declare this type to be int, and here type of the brake it will be a word, like so you can declare this as string. Similarly this is string, this also number of tires is integer, and here you can declare. For time being have this, then we'll explain one by one. And what are all the behavior it can have. So you can start the car and you can move the car. I'll put a open curly braces like this. We'll explain what are all these. And you can have a brake for the car, and finally you can have the stop the car. Okay, so open bracket there you have open, so you have to close it. So this is set to be like you have to write the program like this. So here this indicates the fields or variables. So this represents the state or behavior, or it represents the methods. Okay, okay, next we will see we have created one object, say Honda car, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the values for this. Int number of seats, say this is to be 4. Next, what we had, string type of the break is nothing but we told it is a disk break. And next one we had string type of the gear, so we had this to be automatic. Next one we had int number of the tires, let us have 4. Next one, string type of the engine, we had the straight layout. Okay, next one, here we have the methods, same methods. Start car, and I am going to modify the functionality, and here move the car and break the car and stop the car. Okay, so we have written a sample program. So I have this car and I have this Honda car. So in car we have just the blueprints over here, car, just we don't have the values. We have declared int number of seats, string like type of the brake, etc., and we have the methods also. And here in the Honda car we have specified the values, number of seats, all those, and here the functionality will be differing. Okay, this is an example. And here now what happens, we will see, we have seen this car, so you have to include a keyword called as class car. Okay, so here what we have declared, we have declared all the variables, then we have the methods of the car. Now JVM, I told it will be looking for PEEP, portable executable entry point, that is nothing but public static void main. This is also a method, just how time being I'll explain you what is this later on. Have this method, then I'll explain you. Here now what I'm going to do is I am going to create an object. So object is nothing but Honda car. So I am going to create an object. I told you have to use the keyword new, that is it is used to instantiate a new object, Honda car. Now with the help of this object I am going to invoke the method. Okay, see, we have the class as well as objects. Inside the class it has the variables and methods. So all these variables and methods can be called only with the help of the object. Okay, say for example, you had car, inside this you have seat, all those blah blah, and you have the method start car, etc., all those. Okay, so here this can be invoked with the help of the objects only. So here if you see, roughly to be taken, all the variables and methods are safely encapsulated like a capsule. So this is said to be encapsulation. We will see what is only encapsulation later on, but for timing I am telling. So all these variables and methods are encapsulated within the class. So if you want to access that class, you can call only through the objects. For example, the end user, say he cannot approach the a standard car manufacturing company by himself. Okay, we told we had the end user, and we have the Honda company, and he have the standard car company. So here the end user, he has to approach this Honda, and Honda they can approach the standard car company. So here Honda car is nothing but it is treated as an object. So these people, they'll approach the car company. Likewise here the variables or the methods, they cannot be accessed directly, they can be accessed only through the objects. So this is the basic concept of the class and the object. We will see how to program inside a notepad. Let us, like, you have a lot of IDs available. First we will start with notepad or text editors. You can have textpad, or you can use notepad plus plus. Apart from that, you have the Eclipse. These are nothing but IDE, it is called as, that is integrated development editors. Okay, Eclipse, and you have NetBeans also. And here editors called as NetBeans, etc. For a beginner, it is not advisable to use integrated development editors. You can go for the notepad textpad here. So here before seeing, we will see, you will have the Java source code. Okay, I told this Java source code will be converted into a bytecode. This bytecode will have the extension class dot class files, and this will be converted to an executable code. Alright, we will see how bytecode is generated also. We will see the program in the next session. With this, I'll close this. So finally, class and object are nothing but, class is nothing but a blueprint or the prototype from which an object or objects can be created. An object is nothing but it is the real-time entity of the class. Okay, thank you.